how do you like, because you had two options really when you got out, like fucking hide in a hole
Yeah.
and just say, fuck it, my life is over.
Sure.
Or take it by the balls, what you have. And, you know, people might hate you, but others are going to really respect you for it.
Yep.
And go get it. Like, did you know that you were going to do that right when you got out? Was the goal, I want to get right back into it?
Yeah, for sure. It's like in the last like year of jail, my mentality switched where it's like, I want it all and I'm going to fucking go for it. And I think it's like, comes from two different factors. One is the need to make people whole. And that's like whole emotionally as much as it is financially. But I want to be able to go look everybody in the eye who I wronged and be like, yeah, I made it up to you. And like, that's huge. And two is when I went to solitary the second time, it was for using the payphone to record a podcast. And like, I had no money and like in solitary, I had no communication, and like the lack of power that I contributed to me staying there for longer. You know, if I had extra $1 million to hire a great lawyer, like I would have gotten out in a week. So I think it's kind of like this fear of what can happen to you when you have no power and no resources, and seeing a lot of guys in jail who don't have power and resources and how they get taken advantage of. I'm scared to like be poor like I am now for the rest of my life, to not be able to fight back.
But do you think, like, what's your motivation? Is it power? Is it money?
It's like, it's freedom. And like the freedom to like walk down the street knowing that I see someone and like they know I made it up to them, and the freedom to know that like I can't get locked in a cell for 7 months for no reason.
And I mean, is it easy or hard to try to live life and not feel like, you know, like ashamed every day?
Yeah.
Because that's a tough one, you know, like I, as a human, strip away all the shit you did, right? But it's like, if you wake up every morning with, you know, kind of feeling you have to tuck your tail in between your legs, like out of embarrassment and shame, it's like, it's not a good way to live either.
So I've had like, it's almost 6 years since everything went to hell. So I went through maybe the first 4 years where like my guilt of myself was super high, and I'm mostly past that now. And I feel like I need to respect people not understanding I've had 6 fucking years to deal with this. So yeah, I've been able to move past that like recently, and now it's like, hey, how can I just fucking go for it and make things happen?
I'm curious. There's one thing I want to ask you too is, the day when you knew you were going to go to jail.
Yep.
Did you sit down with your, like, at what point did your parents know that you were going to jail?
So as soon as I got back to the U.S. from the festival,
You had an early wake up call.
yeah, the investigation was on, and I knew I was guilty, whether I could admit it to myself or not. Like, I knew that day I was guilty and I'd be going to jail. So it like wasn't a secret. It's like, yeah, I fucked up.
Did you sit your parents down and tell them?
I don't know. I don't know if I did a good enough job. I tried to make it clear that like, yeah, I fucked up.
Who's the person? If there's one person, just one, that you feel like you let down the most, who would it be?
Emotionally, like family certainly took it the hardest. Friends, but I think that like I feel most guilty for the people who took a negative backlash in their life who truly did nothing wrong. So like whether it's parents, friends, cousins, like even some of the investors who are made to seem like they were like, you know, pushing me up to become this like fraudster, which is all total bullshit. The people who were unfairly portrayed for the benefit of the media or somebody else, like that's fucked up.
The one investor that they talk about the most in the doc, not to spoil it, is Corolla. Have you talked to her since you got out?
No, I haven't, but like she did absolutely nothing wrong, and it's like so crazy that like she did what any other venture capitalist does, right? Like they take a bet and then they go for it. It's like, it's just absurd that gets like turned into like this crazy story.
Do you realize how good you are at convincing people?
No.
See, that's maybe that's the danger.
But one thing back to her, which is totally fucked up, is the producer behind the Netflix show. They met with her and said like, interview with us and we'll make you look bad, or if you don't interview with us, we're going to make you look like a piece of shit. So it's like, it's like so like unethical, right? And like, I'm no one to speak because like I was wrong too. But like, if you're portraying a piece of media as the truth and you basically go to a person and threaten them, like do or die type of thing, like that's just fucked up.
So, but wait, I want to go back to this though, because I think, you know, when I think of your skills, you have to know that. What do you think are your top 3 skills?
I think it's just like finding crazy people and bringing them together, and it's like convincing them to do stuff that is outside of their daily life. So I guess there is like convincing aspect to it, but it's more of like, how can you encourage someone to grab life by the balls and just go for it?
But do you think that there's an issue to that at times?
I think the only issue comes when I start lying, right? If I say, hey, like we're going to go fly in this plane and it's super dangerous, do you want to do it? It's okay. But if I say, hey, this plane is totally safe, it's not okay.
Did you know that you were lying? I mean, well, you knew that you were lying, but like, did you actively like say things knowing that it was a lie for the pure sake of a lie. Because the way I also kind of see it is that like, and a lot of people will never understand this, but like you were in so fucking deep that at some point you were just trying to dig something out. It's kind of the sentiment. Sure. I don't know if you felt that.
So I didn't have the maturity to know that I was hurting people by lying. Like, it's crazy as it sounds. I truly thought that the best way to make everybody happy was to pull the festival off, and they're all gonna, whether it's make money or get the fame they want, or like, you know, have the resume item. Like, that's how I thought I could do best for everybody, not realizing the lies I was telling people were making that impossible. So yeah, I just like I just like lost track of my moral compass.
Was there ever a point while you were trying to finesse this whole festival to actually happen that you thought about like, if it doesn't happen, I could go to jail?
No, which is so crazy.
Did you think about what would happen if it didn't happen?
I just never thought it wasn't going to happen.
There had to be some part of you that maybe could imagine like, if this doesn't, because like even like a pure numbers game, right? If 1,000 people are coming and you only have fucking 300 tents, right? You knew like, where the fuck the other 700?
I just like couldn't comprehend any challenge as insurmountable. And like, it was so wrong, but like everything that came up, it's like, okay, we'll figure this out and we have to. There was never like, oh, maybe we can't. It's like, no, we have to. So let's fucking do it.
Well, it almost feels like you don't understand the word no or not possible.
Yeah.
Right? Do you feel like you have a better idea of what that means now?
Yeah, I think I've learned.
And it's great. And I think I think you're also an interesting case because there's so many qualities that you have that super successful people have, right? The idea that you're solutions oriented, right? That you don't take no for an answer, that you'll work 24 hours if you need to. All great things, but this is like it was the one event. Those are great qualities in 90% of events. Then there's a 10% of events, Fyre Festival included, that it's like that's how you truly like blow the fuck up.
But if you're honest, you can balance out and like amplify the good in that, and that's where it is like fucked up. It's like so simple.
But if you were honest with but the truth is like, if you were honest with investors, what happens then?
I think it would have gotten help. I think there's a point where it's like you need to recalibrate. Like we did our announcement, right? We announced Fyre. It went crazy. Tickets were sold. Everybody in the world wants a meeting with me. Like the who's who of, you name the industry, is coming to our Fyre office. I could have sat down with my investors at that point and been like, hey guys, like I don't think I can do this in 4 months. Like I need help. And they would have helped.
You think so?
100%.
But it was an ego thing?
I think I was like, I just didn't know the reality. I was too afraid to admit any weakness. And I thought that people would leave me if I showed I was weak.
It kind of feels like you owe, when watching and listening to at least the past Billy, in a lot of ways, it's like you just wanted not just validation, but I think you wanted love. You wanted people to see you as this great person.
I wanted camaraderie. At the same time, I wanted to be like put up on the pedestal, right? And I was afraid that
ego,
if anything was wrong, like if I admitted like, I admitted I couldn't sleep last night, I'd scare someone away from like working with me.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram at felix.levine. And if you have something to say, please leave a comment.